Hey passengers, it's Dan from the Grand Circle Tour podcast, letting you know that this next episode is being brought to you by Dream Creators Travel. Our good friends Jennifer G and Jaleesa are two of the most knowledgeable people I know when it comes to booking trips to Walt Disney World. Follow them for more Disney tricks and tricks on their Facebook group called Busy Moms Planning Disney. Our listeners will receive the best booking incentives available when you tell them that the gang at the Grand Circle Tour podcast sent you. Visit the Dream Creators website today at dreamcreatorstravel.com. And remember, if you can dream it, they can create it.
Hey, Dan.
Yes, Jay.
You know, next week we'll have been doing this 3 years, and this is the first time we have ever talked about Universal Studios on the GCT.
What's Universal Studios?
It is a place, it's a shadowy place down the street from Disney that they tend to look at with a lot of fear these days.
Ooh, sounds fun, actually. We didn't even have that planned.
Woohoo! See, we just improv. We show up. We don't know what's going to come out of our mouths, and we like it that way. We want to be as surprised as you guys.
Exactly.
So yeah, passengers, as you can tell, this is a Universal Studios episode. Hey, Dan, at the time of recording, I am 262 days away from my next vacation to Orlando. I can't wait. I want this year over with. But as I've been talking about on the show, this next trip, we are skipping Epcot, we are skipping Animal Kingdom, and we're heading down the street to Universal. And I have only been to the one in Hollywood. I had an annual pass for years. I've never been to the Florida one. So thanks for doing this on a Friday night.
Of course, man. I wouldn't rather be anywhere else except on a podcast with you, Jay, on a Friday night.
You know, hey, we're all still in COVID. It's not like any of us are going anywhere.
For a little while longer, at least.
So I thought I would come to you and I have a list of yes and no attractions, and you tell me yes or no, if I'm right, if I'm stupid.
Sweet.
I have some restaurants to look at, to talk about, even some stores we can talk about.
Yeah, that sounds great. Listen, I will put a waiver out there, right over the front to say I am not by any means a Universal expert. I do go. I do enjoy the park a lot. I am just not we don't have a Universal Studios podcast for a reason. Let's just keep it at that, you know. But I'll be more than happy to tell you about what I like and I dislike.
Cool. That is the kind of guide I need, because I am the blind man and you are the one with sight here.
Like half vision, maybe.
Right. Vision. We just did that episode.
Yeah, right.
So you were telling me about the Universal Express Pass and what an awesome time saver it was for you.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the one piece of advice I always give everyone is just to go for it. Buy the Express Pass. If you're a Disney fan like the two of us are, you're probably staying at Disney, right? If you're staying at Universal, that's different. You're going to get the passes with it. But it's only I think it's like $60 or $70 per person for the Express Pass. And yeah, I get it. It's still expensive. Plus you got to pay regular admission.
Hey, Max Pass is only $20 on top of your regular admission at Disneyland, which is what, $199 now?
Yeah, exactly. So overall, the price is probably about the same when you add the pass and the admission up. But I will say that, you know, it's not like Disney Fast Pass. It's literally its own line, right? And the times that I have gone, and I usually go in the summertime. You know, I have kids and a wife who's a teacher, so we have to go in the summer. And it's just walk on. You just walk right on, you know. And to be able to do both Universal and Islands of Adventure in a single day, without feeling rushed and still having time to spare, you know, that's worth money to me.
So you think we could go and do both parks on the same day with the Express Pass and just knock out in one day and feel like we got our money's worth?
So that's what I do. some people will say, Dan, you're crazy, because it is a lot, right? It's a rope drop to closing type day, with a little break in the middle. That's what we do.
Mhm.
But we do it. Every time we go. We only spend one day in Universal, and we do both parks. Now, I've never been to Volcano Bay, so if that's something that you want to do as well, then you definitely gonna have to do another day for that.
I'm a middle-aged man with no children. I think water parks are not a good look for me.
I don't agree with that. I would still go. I love water parks, so except the ones at Disney, which I've never been to for some reason. I don't know why, but
What?
yeah, I've never been. Weird thing, but
Well, because I went to the list of Universal Islands of Adventure attractions. There's 20 attractions, and I did a yes, no, and only 10 made the yes list. And so,
really,
yeah, so I because it's just the two of us. We're going
yeah,
as a couple, no
yeah,
kids, no friends, just us.
sure.
Just one big long date. But yeah, I was looking at Universal has some really good prices on tickets and deals. But if we can knock it out in one day, I think that would be better. Do, like you said, do one park in the morning and one park in the afternoon.
Yep. And now they have the Hogwarts Express that takes you right, from one park to the other. Back in the day,
Right.
you had to walk out and walk back in. It makes it a lot more easy too.
And that's an attraction all in itself.
Yeah, of course. As a matter of fact, I use touring plans. I talk about them a lot on this podcast for Disney, and they have touring plans for Orlando, for Universal, and their suggestion is to always start in Islands of Adventure, then take Hogwarts over to Universal, do all of Universal, and then take it back over to Islands of Adventure to do the second half of Islands of Adventure. That's what their suggested touring plan is.
I really like that. Yeah. Come in, do half, take the train over,
Yep,
do it, come back, finish it. So, you get a complete experience all in one day.
exactly.
No, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at my list of attractions, and the thing that has stolen us from Disney this time, the thing I am most excited about at Universal, and I got to be honest, Dan, I'm more excited for this attraction than I am for Ratatouille, enough that it stole me from Disney this time, and that is the Velocicoaster.
It looks amazing, Jay. It really does. I don't know what else to say except I am so stoked. It seems to be exceeding my expectations every time I see a new photo of it.
A new video, anything, yeah. Like, I am genuinely excited for this ride. It looks like an unbelievable amount of fun.
Yeah, I agree. And I haven't been there in a couple years now, to be honest. So I haven't been on Hagrid's motorbike either, and that ride looks amazing too.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like total fun.
It looks incredible. You've got those great dark ride elements with the animatronics. You've got a story. You've got 7 launches on one coaster.
Yeah.
It looks that one is the second attraction I am so excited for. I mean, these two attractions have, I love you, Disney, but this is where you guys need to watch out, because I'm a hardcore Disney guy. And even I'm going to check out the competition on this trip.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, they did a really good job with the Harry Potter stuff as far as theming. But besides that, the theming is what it is. I think the theming is really good in the Dr. Seuss area. I think the the monsters, I guess you would call it, like the Universal monster stuff, is all around. That's pretty cool.
I love the black and white Universal monsters. I mean,
exactly.
I have always been a fan of that group of characters.
And there's a rumor for the new park they're opening, the what's it called? Epic Universe? Is that what it's called?
The Universal Monsterland.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see that.
I know. I'm a little worried about that park in the sense that I feel that, and they haven't announced all the official lands yet. They've obviously Nintendo, and everyone's saying it's going to be the Universal Monsterland. And I've heard some other things back and forth of what it could be. Sometimes I just wonder, where's the cohesiveness there? Like, how's it going to flow? And if Disney were to say something crazy like this, I would rely on like what Disney has done in the past to
Right.
always make it work and always make it flow. I'm not sure Universal does a great job with making things flow into each other. You know.
Um, I've thought about that. I think with this new park, because Islands opened what in 1999,
Yeah, I think something like that.
2000,
Yep.
and it was and I haven't been yet. It just looks like sublands around the lagoon. I'm guessing with this one, they're going to go all in and try to really uh, take a shot at Disney with this park.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Because you
listen,
have a school, because like the hub is going to be its own area with its own attractions and its own shopping and dining. It looks
yeah.
like you'll be able to get into the hub. I'm hearing rumors. I'm listening to a lot of Alicia Stella from Park Stop podcast talk about Universal. So if I get anything wrong, I'll blame her.
Well, add that with Volcano Bay, right? Which everyone says is amazing. I haven't been there yet, but it seems amazing. Now you're talking about 4 parks, and that's what Disney has, right?
Right.
Yeah, Disney has the 2 water parks too, but I don't think their water parks compared to Volcano Bay. And all the hotels that they have, I think they're up to like what 6 or 7 hotels now, plus City Walk. Yeah, there's a reason it's
I did look at Cabana Bay hotel for this trip.
Yeah.
Did think about it.
Well, with a lot of things being taken away from Disney, Magical Express, all the other stuff that we've talked about on our regular show, I think a lot of people are going to be thinking about it, and branching out a little bit.
I love Disney. I am Disney to my core, but it is nice to have change. It is nice to have options, and I think the competition is very, very healthy. I think it would be a good thing for Disney to have more of us thinking this way and going, you know what? I'm going to split my dollar between the two.
I mean, a lot of people will tell you that the reason we have all the Star Wars stuff and the reason that we have Pandora is because of Harry Potter stuff, right? It's Disney's answer to what Universal did with Harry Potter. And if Universal didn't do that, then maybe we wouldn't have this stuff, So competition is always good,
Right. And you know what? Speaking of Harry Potter and Galaxy's Edge, I got to ask, which do you prefer between the two?
Well,
I'm going to put you on the spot right off the bat.
Listen, it's weird, but with the pandemic, I have not been to Disney in almost 2 years, or over 2 years now. I mean, that's crazy to think.
That's right. I'm sorry.
I have not been to Galaxy's Edge. So I'm not the best person to ask this, especially when I give you my answer. But deep down inside, I'm a huge Harry Potter geek. I am more of a Harry Potter geek than I am a Star Wars geek. And just because of that, listen, let's put it this way. Harry Potter opened, I planned a trip to go. Star Wars opened, I did not plan a trip to go, just to see that. Toy Story Land opened, I did plan a trip for that one too. So it's weird, right? Like it's a weird thing. It's weird to see what draws you and makes you plan trips to go.
Well, it's funny because I think I'm the same with you here, and I was a Star Wars child.
Sure,
I still buy Star Wars toys here in my 40s. I am more excited to see Harry Potter than I was for Star Wars, and we're going to have to do the definitive Galaxy's Edge Detour one of these days. But when they opened it, they didn't know what their marquee e-ticket attraction. They opened with their second attraction. It was set in a time and a place in the storyline that I absolutely do not give a flying droid about. So as much as I was excited for Millennium Falcon, I enjoy Star Wars Land for what it is, but it's not the Star Wars I wanted. Whereas I'm not like the hugest Harry Potter fan. I just bought all 7 books. I'm going to read them. I am more excited to see the screen to theme park version of Harry Potter than I am for Star Wars. I can't wait to go through Hogsmeade. Am I wrong?
No, I mean it's great. I mean, listen, I am a closet Harry Potter fan. I was the guy who sat in line with the 15-year-old girls at Barnes and Noble the day the last book came out at midnight. That was me. I admit it.
There's nothing wrong with that. I frequently used to do things like that.
And then proceeded to read the book all night long. And at the time, I had 3 roommates, and the guys were just like, they coming home from bars, and I'm sitting there reading Harry Potter. So this was before.
You could have taken the Harry Potter to the bar and done both.
Well,
That's how I read all the original Ian Fleming James Bond books. I went to a bad breakup, and I would I grabbed each one, and I went to an Irish pub and would drink and have lunch and read a Bond book.
I grew up in a bar family. My 2 cousins both owned bars, so while I went through college, I would help out at the bars, and sometimes I would do my homework on the ends of the bars.
Yep.
And there'd be times where I'd go to college, go to class the next morning, and there'd be like a bar napkin that flies out of my book, or my cousin would like doodle on my math notebook or something.
Remind me to tell you the time I sabotaged my sister's homework on a Europe class trip by drawing all over it. But that's a story for a totally different day. We are detouring within our detour.
From the detour.
In detour.
Yep, exactly.
Well, yeah, I'm really excited for everything Harry Potter that I'm going to see there. One of the restaurants I have on my list is the Three Broomsticks.
Yeah, I didn't go there, to be honest. I don't know why I didn't go there, but we usually eat at City Walk. To be honest, we don't eat too much in the parks. I love City Walk, by the way. We could have a whole nother conversation about that, but we usually try to either eat lunch there and dinner there if we do a whole day.
Because I was looking at on my original list here of like eating twice in the park and once at City Walk.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, you could definitely do something like that. What were you looking to do for dinner? I'm assuming you'd do dinner at City Walk.
Right. I was looking at the Bob Marley restaurant.
Yeah, that's great. Great.
I mean, I'm on vacation. I don't want to eat anywhere I can eat at home.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Margaritaville, to be honest. I know it's a chain.
Yeah.
But we go there all the time. I just like the vibe, especially when you're on vacation and you're in Florida. I have a cool story. One of the last launches that they did in Florida, it was a day launch, and I was actually in Margaritaville when it happened, and they have like this outside area, and I was sitting there watching the launch from Margaritaville.
Nice.
Like the pina colada.
Hold on, so passengers. What you don't know is whenever I record on a Sunday, I don't know if my mom, I don't know how she does it. She tends to call whenever I record on a Sunday night, even though I tell her, she somehow forgets and still calls.
It's Friday night though.
It's Friday night, and I'm having to tell her I'm recording an episode. So, Harry Potter. Let's see, Forbidden Journey. That's on my yes list.
Great
Hogwarts Express is on my yes list.
Yep.
Ollivanders is on my no list for this trip.
Yep, I didn't do it. The line is usually long. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily need a wand in my life.
I have friends who are big Harry Potter fans, and they've told me it's a lot of time and money for a stick.
Right. Now, here's the thing. I told you that I probably like Harry Potter more than Star Wars, but I would definitely get a lightsaber. I'm not sure I'd ever get a wand.
And the wands you buy at Ollivanders, are they all interactive? Where you can do things with the windows?
Yeah,
okay, so you don't have to. It's not an upcharge for extra wands.
I don't
for extra wand power.
Wand power, yes. I don't know for sure, but I think that's the case.
Okay, because if that's the case, and we have one day, and the line isn't long, and it's not $199 in advance like a lightsaber.
Right.
If it's going to be a one-time thing, I think I might be tempted to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Just to do it. It's not like I'll bring the
Yeah.
wand back. It's we'll
Yeah.
have done it and know. Yeah.
Yeah. If Connor ever gets into the books, it's probably something I would do with him.
I would say when he gets into the books.
He will get into the books. I know he will.
Yeah.
My son loves to read. It's just right now he's in his 9-year-old superhero phase, which, by the way, his dad never got out of. So I don't know. Maybe.
You know what? Uncle Jay never got out of it either. So go watch listen to our last 8 episodes of WandaVision.
I know, right? What other rides you have on that list?
Okay, so actually, I'm going to go to my no list, and I'm just going to run down my no list.
I'll tell you if you're wrong with any of those.
Okay. I have on my no list Caro Susul.
No.
I can pass it. Yep. We were talking about this before the show, and the tricks age plays on you, and I didn't used to be afraid of heights, and as I get older, not really my thing. Dr. Doom Fearfall is not only a no, it's a beep no.
It's not that bad. I've done free fall rides in our local Six Flags, and it's a lot worse there than it is in the Dr. Doom free fall. Which, by the way, I've been to Universal a couple times. I think it's only been open one time, the attraction.
Wow. So I'm someone who cheered the death of Maliboomer at California Adventures, so I see the same attraction.
Yep.
Just Dr. Doom is cooler than
that's it. They just stuck a name on it. It's this typical drop ride.
I have Flight of the Hippogriff on my no.
Okay. I did it. You could probably skip it.
Yeah. It just like the next one on my list, One Fish, Two Fish. It just didn't appeal to me.
Yep. I agree. That one too. It's a little kitty.
Bilge Rat Barges is a no on my list for the one reason that I don't like being wet all day at a theme park.
You get absolutely drenched on that attraction.
Yeah. I've been told head to toe, your socks, your shoes, the soles of your shoes are going to be wet all day. And that is just, no, I'm out.
Now, the log flume, I don't know if that's on your list.
The Dudley Do-Right, that is on my list.
I think that's a great attraction. I love Rocky and Bullwinkle, and it's a little bit lengthy for a log flume ride. So I think it's a really cool ride.
Is it the Rocky and Bullwinkle equivalent of Splash Mountain?
I can never compare it to Splash Mountain because there's not that many. It's not as detailed, but it's what I guess they tried to make it, but it's definitely does not compare to Splash Mountain.
Go into it knowing you're going into a Jay Ward cartoon, not a Walt Disney.
Exactly. Go into it like you think you're going on a regular log flume, and it just happens to be some Rocky and Bullwinkle stuff around.
All right, cool. I have me no speak good. Pteranodon Flyers is a no on my list.
Yep.
Storm Force Acceleration looks like that lovely three broomsticks I'll be wearing it if I go on it.
Yeah, I don't think I've been on that, to be honest.
It looks like it was a huge no when I saw it. And I love Storm from the X-Men, but not enough to be sick all day.
Yep.
Cat in the Hat got a no from me.
Okay.
And Seuss Trolley.
Yeah. So what are it seems I thought there'd be more. What are the yes rides?
My yes, and I'll just go straight down the list, is Velocicoaster, Hagrid's, Jurassic Park River Adventure, which is the same as the one in California. It's the one it used to be in California. They've changed that one. Hogwarts Express, Poseidon's Fury, Dudley Do-Right, Kong, Spider-Man, and Hulk.
Yeah, it's funny because I would think that there's more attractions, but I guess the others are in Universal.
Right. I was really surprised at how few attractions there were, and just straight up doing a yes/no list.
Right. But I will say this: the Hulk coaster is great, and the Spider-Man ride is still. I mean, that's an old ride now. It really is. It's got to be 20 years old. It's still one of my favorites.
I hear people say, the ride is 20 years old, but it is as good now as it was then. I mean, people say it is a great theme park classic attraction.
3D, 4D, I guess you can call it, right?
Yeah.
The effects and It's just an overall awesome ride. One of my favorite rides of all time.
I've never heard a bad word spoken about that ride.
Yeah, great.
So we talked about Three Broomsticks. I have Mythos as my second restaurant.
Yep. So I've never been there, but it is something that I've always said to myself, that looks pretty cool.
Okay. I've heard it's great food. If that's not available, I have Fire Eaters as my second choice.
Okay.
My second choice.
I don't think I'm familiar with that.
Okay. I do have a note though, because I looked at all the menus and I wrote down on Fire Eaters $10 beer. Mad face.
$10 beer. Now, how big is that beer though? Because that's really what matters. Because what if they give you a keg for $10?
I'm guessing it's going to be like orange juice. It's going to be 3 ounces, and 2 of that's going to be foam.
What about butterbeer? Are you going to do that?
I am going to do butterbeer, and I had to explain to Chris that it's not actually butterbeer; it's a juice. That's just the name.
My recommendation is to go with the frozen.
Okay. Not at all excited for blue milk at Star Wars. Could care less.
Yeah.
But butterbeer, I'm all in.
Yeah. You know, the butterbeer, I mean, listen, they were the first, right? Butterbeer was before, obviously before the blue milk, and also before the, what is it? The LaFuse brew. That was Disney's like answer. I mean, it doesn't even compare to, I mean, it's so much better than Disney's version. It actually, in my opinion, like it's something I want to drink, you know. I like that cream soda type taste. So I don't know, maybe it's just my personal preference. But I think the frozen one is really like refreshing. Like on a hot day, it's really good.
See, I like a good cream soda. I like a root beer float. So you're speaking my language here.
Right, exactly. Me too. That's what I enjoy.
Blue milk not appealing, but butterbeer, I know I want at least 2.
Well, you know, I remember I went when we first opened. It was crazy. The lines, I'm sure the lines are still crazy for butterbeer, but you know, we went and we got one of the I don't call it warm, but like the room temperature one, and then one of the frozen ones, and you know, we were like had to get both of them, you know.
But definitely get the frozen.
I prefer the frozen. I think it's great. It's an actual like refreshing drink.
Yeah, especially in Florida, a nice hot day. That sounds perfect.
Yeah.
I didn't put any shops on my list, but is there any shops in Islands of Adventure you can think of I should go to?
So I'm not. I don't know the shops like by name of what the shops. But this is what I'll say about the shops. I love the shops at Universal. I love them because you are going to find such cool things like from all different walks, right? You're gonna find like there's an I Love Lucy store, right? There's a thing where you're just gonna, when you're in the Universal side on the movies like E.T., like next to the E.T. ride, all the Harry Potter merch and you know, it's just amazing. It's just different. When I go to Disney, and listen, I'm one of the biggest Disney geeks you'll ever meet, so I can shop at Disney stores all the time. But let's be real. It's all kind of the same, right? We all know what's going to be in a Disney gift shop.
Yeah.
Here you can walk into a gift shop and just be totally blown away with a whole nother like type of theme, you know?
That's been one of my ongoing complaints with Disney parks since the 90s, when they did away with, when each store was an attraction and had their own specific merchandise. And like you said, now you know what you're going to get. And if you forget about it, you get at the airport on your way out of town.
I know. You know, I'll give you the perfect example is the Muppet store near the Muppet attraction at Hollywood Studios, right? That used to be all Muppets all the time, right? And you can go in there, and obviously I'm a huge Muppets fan, and it was great. Now you go in there, there's like a Muppet wall, maybe, you know?
Yeah. When I was last in there, I was more into the Tower of Terror merchandise than the very small amount of Muppet merchandise they had to offer.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember when the kiosk in Hollywood Backlot, Hollywoodland at California Adventure had more than the store at the studios. The tiny little kiosk.
Unbelievable. I know. But,
well, I have,
you know, I do like the shopping more at Universal.
Yeah. And you know, and that's one of the things I'm really looking to about experiencing Universal on this trip is I love Disney. I know exactly what I'm getting, but I am excited to shake it up and get the chocolate to the vanilla.
I say I love the shopping more at Universal, but in reality, let's be honest. I spend 99% of my my budget of my merchandise at Disney than I do at
Yeah.
Universal. I think what I'm trying to say is I like to browse more at Universal, which probably isn't good for business, but I do like it.
Oh dang, I hate it when I have a thought and then I forget. Because we'll finish recording and I'll be like, there it is. Oh, so you know me, I love the comic books. Am I going to get better Marvel merchandise in the Marvel section at Universal than I am at Disney?
You're probably gonna get more
More
better.
selection?
Yeah, probably. Better. I don't know if I'd go better. Because it is still it's more in my opinion, like the shirts and stuff like that is more like Six Flags merch. And what I mean by that, it's always like, the
Bugs
gimmick.
Bunny all hip hopped out in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
So Six Flags is DC, right? So I'm a big DC fan. So you can get like a Superman shirt, let's say, but then it's always going to have the roller coaster Six Flags logo next to it, right? And it's like, well, why would I want that on my Superman shirt, And I think that's usually how it works with Universal.
Okay. No, good to know. Yeah. So don't go in there expecting I'm going to find like cool sculptures of busts and
you may find stuff like that though. You may find the busts, which you're right. With that stuff is probably cool, So I'm thinking more like the typical theme park merch,
yeah. Cool. Yeah. Well, I have one last note on this piece of paper, and that is Voodoo Donut.
Voodoo Donut. Another thing I haven't done yet, but I mean, listen, everyone talks about Voodoo Donut, right?
I want to get one of those Voodoo Doll donuts so bad, and just make it somebody and eat their little arms off.
Yeah. It's got to be on my list next time I go to. So
cool. Dan, thanks so much for doing this tonight.
This was fun. This was like a little like when you talk about detours, we went away from Disney for a second. We were almost bashing Disney a little bit. Did we?
I don't think we were bashing. You know what? You have to be honest with those you love, or
Exactly.
We're not saying we don't love. We're not bashing Disney. We love Disney, but hey, guys, you got competition, and even your most diehard fans are going to check it out.
Yeah. Listen, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Lower the prices.
Yeah. Lower the prices. Give us back our Magical Express, even though I never used it, but I'm so upset that it's gone.
No, I never used it myself, but I'm sad for other people.
Exactly.
Don't bring back Fast Pass, but do bring back Magic Bands.
Yeah. And the only thing I'll say, I have so my son's turning 9 this week. He's getting to that age. He'll always be a Disney guy because his dad is a crazy Disney guy, right? But he's getting to that age where he wants to go experience some roller coasters and some like quote unquote big boy rides. Plus, it's got Minions, which he's into. It's got superheroes, which he's into. It's got these other things. He watched his first Fast and Furious movie the other day when we went skiing, and he loved it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, now he's going to be into this stuff. So, there's.
But but there's that age where I think we all kind of leave Disney for a while, then come back.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's just no matter what they do, there's an age where it's just not cool to go. And it's like I know the boys right now. One is less than a year old and one is 4, and they love Disney, but there'll come a time where they're going to say, "Uncle Jay, we don't want to go to Disney on this trip."
Yep. Now here's the real question. I want to know if I'll ever be able to do. Would I ever be able to go to Orlando and not go to Disney and just do a Universal trip? I'm not sure. I'm at the point where I can say yes to that.
I could not say yes to that. No, I couldn't do it yet. Yeah, I still, even if I just got to go to ride on Tower of Terror and had to pick studios for a day, I'd still have to get that Disney fix in.
Yeah, we did toy around with the idea of going to Vero Beach over this last summer. It was canceled because of the pandemic, but my plan, that was just going to be a me and my wife trip. My plan was to sneak away for a day and go to just Universal. And as the trip got closer and closer before we canceled it, every day I said, maybe I should change it to Hollywood Studios. So I'll never know if I would have ever gone through with it, but
You never know. That might come up soon.
it could.
And part of the reason why I'm also looking forward to Universal is after year of COVID, we're not going till the end of November. After the two of us, a married couple, has made it through isolation together and still love each other, and both are alive.
You deserve it.
We are going to make this one long day. So I'm kind of
stoked. How many days are you going to do your whole trip for? Do you have that planned yet?
We're going to take a week.
Okay.
We're going to take a full week but we're not doing all theme parks.
Okay. You're going to take break days and
yeah. It's Chris is turning 50, and I don't think it's fair to be like, here's your first trip, let's just do park after park after park. We're going to do park, take a break, park, take a break. We may rent a car and go down to Cocoa Beach again.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, I think that's a great idea. I really, really want to do that. I was thinking about it. I mean, we're going to go in June as our COVID's over, even though probably won't be completely over by then. But I really want to do like a 2-week or maybe even a 3-week trip and just spend time in Florida. I really want to do that one of these days. We'll see.
It's a great state. There's a lot of great history and a lot of things to check out. I mean, the oldest city in America is there.
Yeah.
There's a lot I want to go and see and do. And I love theme parks. I love Disney, but I don't have to stay in the bubble. I don't. Again, former cast member, so maybe that the staying in the bubble doesn't really appeal to me because of that, where it would have before. It's good to go and make it an actual vacation. I love doing Disney, but I don't need to have a week of just Disney.
Right. And I do like, I'm a DVC member, so I do like the idea of just going and maybe staying on a Disney hotel, but not actually going to a park, I think that's something that we'll eventually do. I mean, that was our plan for this summer too. We were going to do Vero for 4 days and then go to the Polynesian for 4 days, just me and my wife, and not do any theme parks, That was when I was going to sneak out. And go to Disney Springs, maybe for dinner and experience it that way. But
I kind of see going down to Orlando, and I'm no way in comparing the two cities at all. But like when I go to Paris, I will go to Disneyland Paris when I'm in Paris, but I'm staying in Paris and I'm doing the city thing. Disneyland is just part of it.
Right.
And where like when I usually go to Orlando, Disney is the majority of my trip. Yeah. It's not solely my trip.
Yeah, totally understand what you're saying.
Good, because I was afraid I rambled on and on.
This is like a mishmash detour, It's like
this is more like we're just hanging out after work on a Friday night chatting.
Looks like a new spinoff for the Grand Circle Tour podcast. The Dan and Jay Friday night happy hour or something like that.
I love it. Let's do it.
Sounds good.
Well, we will do this again soon and talk about Universal Studios and then City Walk. Sound good?
Hey, I love it. Let's talk about it.
Awesome. Thanks for doing this tonight, Dan. Passengers, thank you for making it to the end. If you made it to the end, hashtag George ruins everything.
George does ruin everything.
Take it away, kid.
If you would like to keep the adventure going after the show, be sure to like our Facebook friends page, Grand Circle Tours Magical Ticket Holders. While you're on Facebook, like our group page, Grand Circle Tours. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Grand Circle Tours Podcast, as well as on Instagram, GCT Podcast, and our YouTube channel, Grand Circle Tour. If you would like to email us, drop us a line at gctpodcast@gmail.com. T-shirts and other fun merchandise can be found at tpublic.com. Simply search Grand Circle Tour Podcast. If you enjoyed your adventure, leave us a review on Apple Podcast. Only one rule: make it good. All logos, sounds, songs, and music that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are the full ownership of the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be, the ownership of the Grand Circle Tour Podcast. Thank you for riding with us, and welcome home.